Good morning, all of you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Hope all of you well. Yeah, good morning, all of you. Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about, last week we were discussing about the, the basic introduction about Java. We have seen what were the different programming languages that were available, then how the high-level programming language came into existence, then in high-level language programming, how Java became very popular. We had unstructured, we had structured, then we have object-oriented programming language. And finally, people have accepted object-oriented programming language. Till there we had discussed, and I think one program also we have seen how to compile it and how to give the compiled code to the JVM and how the JVM will convert the class file into machine level and execute it. That one example also we have seen. Today, let us continue our discussion further and we will try to understand more about Java. What are some of the features of Java that made Java a popular programming language? That is the first thing. And then we will have to know about the different data types that we have. And what are the switch statements, if-else statements, how to use it. If I do that, first unit will get over and then we can move to the second unit. As I told you, I would like to repeat it once again. Only the first unit will take more than one class, but after that we will be able to cope up with it. Now, whenever we tell object-oriented programming, you just compare it with real-life scenario. So if you compare object-oriented programming with real life, 100% giving a solution to the real-life problem is going to be easy for you. Giving solution to the real-life problem becomes simple for you. Now, how do we look at the problem using the object-oriented way, sir? That I will tell. But before I tell you how to write the programs using object-oriented approach, what are the concepts that we have in object-oriented programming, before we discuss about all those things, there is a very few or very fundamental concept that we need to understand, and it is about the data types. Whenever I tell data types, I have seen students not giving so much of importance. There is a little lethargic approach about the data types. They think, okay, data types, we have something called int, we have something called float, we have something called character, not so important. And students don't give so much importance to data types. If you want, you can go to internet and you can search. In the year 1996, there was one rocket called Ariane 5 rocket. It was launched by European scientists. And that Ariane 5 rocket, it was launched, and after 37 seconds it was launched due to some software issue in the rocket. To be very specific, due to the integer overflow. The rocket started deviating from its original direction. And because if the rocket starts going in a different direction, it may affect a lot of things, and hence they had to self-destroy the rocket. And till date, that is considered as one of the most costliest software bug in the entire industry till date. I think maybe about 10-15 seconds video is there. Just a minute, I'll try to open YouTube directly and play that video. So maybe I will tell Ariane 5 rocket. Just a minute, I'll share the screen. So I will tell here Ariane 5 rocket failure. Yeah, so I'll share it. I hope it is visible to everyone. So it was in the year 1996.
By the early hours of the morning of the 4th of June, Ariane 5 stood proudly on ELA 3, waiting for the final countdown. No one would sleep much that night. They never did before any launch. The skies opened again, and the tropical rain poured down over the rocket. There were doubts if it would be able to launch the next day. Its prospects looked poor. By the next morning, the forecast had improved slightly. A final decision to go was taken.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Allumage.
Keep noticing after some time what will happen.
"37 seconds into the launch, the onboard computers decided 501 was 90 degrees off course.
Okay, so the facial reaction of the person tells the complete story. Now, what was the problem if you ask me? Even in the internet, it is available. You can just go to Google and you can type Ariane 5 rocket failure. It is because of the integer overflow that it happened. It was flying. After 37 seconds, integer overflow took place in the software, and that miscalculated the value. And that value was used for calculating the direction. Internally, how they are going to use that, we don't know. A lot of things will be involved. But because of that integer overflow, the rocket was 90 degrees deviated from its original direction. So finally, they had to self-destroy. Even today, it is considered as one of the costliest software bugs. Now, integer overflow, what it means if you ask me. Now, say supposing you have one variable, maybe for calculating the height, you have declared one variable. Just to give you an example, what exactly the integer overflow is. I have one variable called height. Initially, it could be 0. As the rocket starts to fly, it will become 1 feet, then maybe it will become 2, it will become 3. Like that, whatever is the height of the rocket, it will keep storing that value. Let us assume 99 is the capacity of this variable, just for the discussion's sake. 99 is the maximum value that it can store. At one point of time, rocket started to fly at a height which is greater than 99. So up to 99, it was storing the value correctly. But after that, once you cross the value, the limit that your height variable can store is 99. But once you cross that value, it will start storing some invalid data, some negative data and all, it will start storing. And since there were other parameters which were using the height parameter, the rocket had to change its trajectory. That led to the problem that they have faced. So whenever we listen to the data types, it is not just about integer, float and other things. If proper importance is not given to the data types, then whatever software we develop, you never know, that becomes the second costliest software bug in the software industry.
और उठा और उसको क्या व्हाट्सएप पे से ग्रुप मैसेज क्या कर रहा है कि भाई अपना कैमरा बंद करो भाई क्या सर वी वांट.
Okay, so now this is what is the problem. Let's give importance to data types and we will try to understand it. Now, just now I told you object-oriented approach means it is very close to the real life. So whenever you want to join for any college or whenever you want to join for a school, the first thing that you will get is one application form will be given to you. Where in that application form, you will have to fill the data. So in that, you will be filling your name. You are going to enter your date of birth. You are going to enter the gender, is married, yes or no, true or false, that kind of data you will tell. What is your height, you will tell. So whatever data you fill in the application form, keeping that at the back of our mind, if I have to write it here, in Java, we have integer type data. Second one, we have something called real number type data. In fact, in real life also, we have integer type data, we have real number type data, then we have yes or no type data. Before that, we have character type data. We have character type data. Then we have yes or no type data. These are the commonly used data types that you will notice in the real life. Now, Java being close to the real life, Java has to provide the data types using which you will be able to satisfy all this. In Java, in order to manage integer type data, we have something called as byte. We have something called as short. We have something called as int. And we also have something called as long. Why 4 data types, sir? Because we have learned C programming. In C programming, there was only integer type data, only int type data I have. Why is it Java has provided 4 types of integer data? What is the reason? I will tell. Then we have real number type data. For managing that, Java has provided float and double. That's what we have. Then we have character type data, for which I have char type data. Then I have yes or no type data, for which I have Boolean as the data type. These are the data types. These are the 8 data types that we have in Java. Okay, sir. But how many bytes are allocated for all these data, sir? Yes, that is what we will have to discuss now. Let us take up character type data first. In order to manage the characters, the name and all that, we have character type data. If you remember, how many bytes were allocated for character in case of C programming? We used to allocate 1 byte of memory. However, in case of Java, we are going to allocate, correct, in C programming, it was 1 byte. In Java, we are going to allocate 2 bytes of memory. What is the reason? Don't we have string as data type? No, string is not a data type in Java. It is an object in Java. It is an inbuilt class in Java. So how to use that string, we will see to it, but it is not a data type. Okay. So 2 bytes are allocated for character type data. It is important for you to know why is it there we had only 1 type, but in Java there are 2 bytes of memory allocated. If I have to tell you, one small explanation is required. For a moment, you assume that you don't know any symbol. Whatever symbols you know, A, B, C, D, or your local language, or the equal to symbol, greater than symbol, whatever symbols you use for writing. For a moment, assume that you don't know anything. There are no symbols in this entire world. Maybe our scientists, they have done some research and they have invented some symbols. What symbols they have invented, sir? They have invented A, they have invented B. So when they invent A and B, I can't store this A as it is in my computer. I can't store this B as it is in my. So your computer cannot store the data as it is. Your computer cannot store character type data, integer type data. That's not possible. Why, sir? Why? Because assume this to be the memory of your computer. Whenever you have the memory, very often you tell, I have 500 GB of memory, I have 1 TB of memory. For simplicity, let us assume that I have 1 gigabytes of memory. What do you mean by gigabyte? 1 gigabyte is nothing but 1 into 10 to the power 9 bytes. Or in other words, it is 1 into 10 power 9. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bytes of memory. Or in other words, this is 1 byte. This is 1 byte. This is 1 byte. Like this, these many bytes you have in your memory. That is the meaning. And you know, 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. So whatever byte I have written here, it is nothing but 8 bits. And what do you mean by bit? A bit means it is either 0 or 1. So when I say 1 gigabyte of memory I have in my computer, you are actually telling this much of bytes I can store in my computer. Or whatever I have written here multiplied by 8. Those many bits can be stored in my computer. And what do you mean by bit if you ask me? A bit is nothing but 0 or 1. In simple words, if I have to tell, your computer can only store zeros and ones. Apart from that, nothing else can be stored. No, sir. In my mobile phone, I have saved one phone number. I have saved one phone number, my friend phone number, maybe some name, Raju. I have the number, sir, Raju. Phone number is some 9845. Like that, I have stored one phone number, sir. Correct. For you, it is just a name. But when you enter this name, internally, either your computer or your mobile phone will take the help of a format. And what is the duty of the format? Duty of the format is to take the data type, whatever you have entered here, and it is going to convert it into binary. So if I tell stored 100%, I don't have the character as it is in my computer. There is something who is going to convert it into binary form. And who converts it into binary? It is the format who converts it into binary.
So we lost you in the mid. Better you can mute all.
If I mute any doubts, it will be a problem. Let me do that. That's it. How do I mute everyone? Where is the option? Participants. Mute all. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if there is any doubt, put it in the chat section so that I can address it. I have muted everyone. So, okay. So what we have to do here is whatever data I'm trying to store in my computer, I will not be able to directly store it. I will have to take the help of a format. It is the format who converts the data into binary form. Any data, whether it is integer type data, float type data, or Boolean type, any data for that matter, whatever data type you tell, the data type has to be converted into binary. And who does that activity for you? It is the format that is there internally in your computer who does that, or internally in your programming language that does that. You need not have to worry about the formatting. That happens internally. Okay, now what is it that I'm trying to explain here is, let us assume that we don't have any other symbols apart from whatever I have written here. There are only 2 symbols, let us assume. And I told you whatever symbols you have, you cannot directly store them as it is. You will have to store them in the form of binary numbers. So what we will do, whenever we want to store A, for that I will assign one binary code 0. For B, I will assign one binary code 1. Means whenever I want to store A in my computer, I'll store it as 0. Whenever I want to store B in my computer, I'll store it as 1. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, sir. After that, scientists, they have done more research. They invented 2 more new symbols. Initially, they had 2 symbols. A was the first one, B was the second one. Then they had invented 2 more. One is C, the other one is D. 2 more symbols they have invented. But the problem is, whatever symbols you have, directly you can't store. You should give a binary code for them. So what they thought, for A, let us give it as 0. For B, let us give it as 1. But for C, they were not able to give a new binary code. Because using 1 bit, there are only 2 possibilities. 0 and 1, that's it. Apart from that, you can't store any other data. You can't have any other combination. So what they thought was, if I have 1 bit, this is the problem. Let me increase the number of bits. So they told A means I will tell 0, 0. B means I will tell 0, 1. Then for C, they told 1, 0. For D, they told 1, 1. So when they had 2 symbols, 1 bit was sufficient. When they had 4 symbols, they were not able to manage it using 1 bit. They had to use 2 bits for storing the data. In the same way, assume that they invented 4 new symbols: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. 8 symbols were there. Initially, they tried this. For A, we will tell 0, 0. For B, we will tell 0, 1. For C, we will tell 1, 0. For D, we will tell it as 1, 1. But they were not able to give the binary code for remaining symbols. So they were forced to increase the number of bits. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Then they told, for this it is 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and this is 1, 1, 1. Like that, they had increased. So the point that I'm trying to tell here is, as the number of symbols increase, the number of bits you require to represent them in the binary form, that also will increase. In fact, calculation is very simple. If you have 2 symbols, 2 can be written as 2 to the power 1. Whatever you get in the power, those many bits you require. Here, I have totally 4 symbols. 4 is nothing but 2 to the power 2. I require 2 bits. Here I have 8 symbols. 8 is nothing but 2 to the power 3. I require 3 bits. Like this, Americans have identified 128 symbols. Americans had identified 128 symbols. A to Z in the uppercase, A to Z in the lowercase, greater than symbol, lesser than symbol, equal to symbol, exclamatory symbol, all the symbols, the commonly used symbols they have identified. And how many symbols were there? A total of 128 symbols were there. Now all 128 I can't write. I'll simply tell the first symbol. Then I will tell the second symbol. Then I will tell third symbol. Like that it will continue. Finally, I will be having 128th symbol. Now, because it is 128, if you write it as a power of 2, it comes up to 2 to the power 7. So actually, if you have 7 bits, it is sufficient, but memory doesn't come in the 7 bits package, 6 bits and all that. So minimum requirement, 7 bits is not available, 8 bits. 8 bit is nothing but 1 byte. In case of C programming, these were the only symbols you had. 128 useful symbols were there. And for all the symbols, American gave the binary code. For the first symbol, they told 00000000. Second symbol, they told 00000001. Like that, for every symbol, they have given the code. And coming to the last symbol, it is 01111111. I told you 7 bits were sufficient, but memory comes in the standard package. So they had to use one more bit. And since it was the code given by Americans, they started calling it as American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That only in short, we call it as ASCII. So in case of C programming, we were using ASCII as the format. It was using ASCII code, and hence if you had just 1 byte of memory, you were able to store the character. But later, Java became popular, internet became popular. And today, if you have to communicate with your friends, it's not that just by using English you will communicate. Very often we use our local language, the regional language, and we will communicate with them. We use Hindi, we use Kannada, we use Tamil, we use Telugu, we use Bengali. Whatever language you want, you can use it. You have that freedom. So Java being the internet programming language, they can't tell we will support only English and English-like symbols. That is not possible. So what Java did was, so the full form of ASCII, in American Standard Code for Information Interchange. American Standard Code for Information Interchange, because Americans gave that code. We call it as American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, so after that, since Java, an internet programming language, you can't tell that I will support only English and English-like symbols. That's not possible. So what they did, they tried to identify all the globally recognized symbols. They went to every country. In Russia, what are the symbols that are used? In India, what are the symbols they use? In China, what are the symbols? In Japan, what are the symbols? In French, what are the symbols? Like that, when they started to identify, Java realized globally recognized symbols were 65,536. Those many symbols were there. Now, here we had only 128 symbols. For representing 128 symbols in the binary form, 8 bits were sufficient. But if you have to represent these many symbols in the binary form, 100% using 8 bits of data, it will not be possible. In fact, 65,536, if you write it as a power of 2, you will get 2 to the power 16 and you require 16 bits. Or you would require 2 bytes of memory. That's what you require. Let's assume this is the first symbol of Java, second symbol of Java, like that. This is the last symbol, 65,536th symbol. Here I will tell 0000. Totally 16 zeros will have to be there. That is the binary code for first symbol in Java. Second symbol, everything will be the same. The last bit will be 1. Like that, you can write for every symbol. For the last symbol, it will be 1111, 1111, 1111, and 1111. And this, they started calling it as Unicode. Either we call it as Unicode or we call it as UTF, Unicode Translational Format. That is the format that Java uses. And why the number of bits increased in Java? Because the number of symbols also have increased. And if Java had to give the binary code for all the symbols, they were not able to manage it using 1 byte. and hence they had to increase the number of bytes to 2. And internally, what is the format it uses? Unicode. This is the reason why in C there was only 1 byte, but in Java there are 2 bytes. Okay, sir. Character, somewhat it is clear. What about integer, float, and all that, sir? Now, how internally it converts for everything, I can't tell. We don't have so much time. Maybe for integer, I will tell you. Whenever you try to store integer type data, it could be byte or it could be short or anything, it makes use of a format called base2 format. In fact, your real number type data, whether it is float or double, it makes use of a format called IEEE format. Now, everything is not possible. Let's take up the integer and try to understand. Similar type of conversion will happen for float and double also. Assume that you have declared like this, maybe byte type A is equal to, you have told 116, like this you have told. Can I store 116 as it is in my computer? No, not possible. So internally, this 116 has to be converted into binary. And how does this 116 get converted to binary? Using the base2 format. So 116 will be divided by 2. It is 5, 8 with remainder 0. Then for 2, 9 with remainder 0. Then 14 with remainder 1. I just keep dividing and keep checking the remainder. 7 with remainder 0. Then it will be 3 with remainder 1. 2 ones are 2 with remainder 1. This is what I will have. So 116 in the decimal form is equivalent to whatever reminders you have got. You just have to read it in the reverse order. When I read it in the reverse order, I'll get 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. But since it is a byte type data, 8 bits, 1 byte is given to you, and whatever bit is left out, it will have 0. This is the binary form. So whenever I try to store 116, internally my computer will store this value. Okay, sir. Integer also like that? Yes. Short? Yes. Same type of conversion is what all of them will follow. But what is the memory allocated for byte, short, int, long, and all that? And why do we have 4 different types of data in Java? This is the reason why we have it. I will tell here the first type of integer data that I have is byte. Second type of data that I have is short. Third type of data that I have is int. And the fourth type of data that I have is long. So for managing integer type data, we have 4 types of data. After 0, only 2 ones. In the conversion process, let me check it. First, let me take through the memory allocated. So whenever I tell byte, my Java will give me 1 byte of memory. Whenever I tell short, Java is going to allocate 2 bytes of memory for me. When I tell int, it will give me 4 bytes of memory. When I tell long, 8 bytes of memory is allocated for me. That if I have to represent it pictorially, this is how I can tell. This is 1 byte. 2 bytes means maybe a little larger basket is what I can tell, because ultimately int, short, byte, long, all of them are going to store the data. So for representing the storage, we will write it in the form of a basket, no problem. Let us tell it like this. 1 byte of memory, when we tell, there is a formula that we use for calculating the range of data that can be stored. We have a formula minus 2 to the power n minus 1 up to 2 to the power n minus 1 minus 1. Using that formula, we calculated minus 2 to the power n is the number of bits. So I'm telling 1 byte. 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. So I can tell 8 minus 1 up to 2 to the power 8 minus 1 minus 1, or it is minus 2 to the power 7 up to 2 to the power 7 minus 1. So finally, it comes up to 128 up to 127. Same formula, you can apply it for all the remaining 3. What it means is, if you try to store the value in between this using byte type data, you will not have any issue. If you try to store a value greater than 127, or if you try to store a value lesser than minus 128, then compiler will have an issue. And that is when the overflow, underflow will occur. Whatever is the capacity of your data type, if you try to cross the limit, if you try to go beyond the limit, that is when the overflow will happen. So whenever you make use of byte type data, I am going to store the data only between minus 128 up to 127. Similarly, you can use the formula and you can calculate it for short, int, long also. So for short, I think 32,768 up to 32,767. For int, there is one 10-digit number that we get. And for long, there is a long number that, maybe you can search in the internet, not possible to remember. But if you know the formula, it is sufficient. Now, what happens if I try to store the data beyond this? Let us try to understand about it. Okay. I think short 1 byte, byte and int 2, float have 4 byte. No. In Java, byte means it is 1 byte of memory. Short means it is 2 bytes. Integer 4 bytes, long 8 bytes. For double 4 bytes of memory, and for float 4 bytes of memory. For double, we allocate 8 bytes of memory. This is the memory we allocate. Now for typing the programs, we will not be using Notepad anymore. 100% it is not user friendly. It will take a lot of time for you to compile and execute. Let's make use of an IDE. There are plenty of IDEs that we have. I would be using Eclipse. So I'll just open it first. Just a minute. I'll open Eclipse. And let it open. Once it opens, I'll share the screen. Eclipse is a little heavyweight software because so many things will be there. It might take some time. I'll call the workspace as MCA2 and I will tell launch. Let it get opened. We will type the programs. Before that, I want you to answer to these questions. I hope all of you have heard about pre-incrementation and post-incrementation. Have you heard about it? Pre-incrementation, post-incrementation? Yes? No? Yes. So most of you have heard about it. What is the meaning of pre? What is the meaning of post? Now, I'm going to write some programs. IntelliJ also you can use, no problem. That's what I told. Multiple IDEs are there. So whichever you are comfortable, you can use it, no problem. So ++i pre and I++ post, correct? Now, I will be writing 4 programs. I want you to analyze the code and tell me the output. I want everybody to participate. Even if you get the wrong answer, absolutely no problem. Class demo 1, I will tell public static void main of string arguments. Then inside the main method, I'm going to declare one variable a. I will tell it as 10. Then in the second line, I will tell integer type B. I'm not going to give any value. After that, I will tell plus A. Then I will tell B equal to A. Then system.out.println. Writing that full statement every time could be difficult. So in short, I will tell SOP. I'm going to print the value of A and I'm going to print the value of B. I want you to check, analyze this code and tell me what will be the value of A, what will be the value of B. This is the first program. Let me complete all the 4 programs, then you can tell me the answer. I will tell this as demo 2. Instead of telling A++, I will tell, instead of telling ++A, I will tell A++. I want you to tell the answer for this. And here demo 3, here there is a slight modification. I will tell it here, integer type B equal to ++A. And coming to the last one, let me remove these 2 lines. And here I will tell A++. This is what I'm going to tell. Let me call this as demo 4. Yes. Now I want all of you to participate. What will be the output for the first one, second one, third one, and fourth one? Take your time and analyze, no hurry. So 11, 11, A equal to 11, B equal to 11, okay. Okay, A is 10, B is 11. No, see, if you just tell A11, B11, for which program I will not understand. So first one, what will you get? Second one, what will you get? Analyze the output of all the 4 programs and tell me the output. For first one, how much do we get? Second one, how much? Third one, how much? And fourth one, how much? Take your time, no urgency. Take your time and tell. So for demo 3, A is 11, B is 11, okay. First one, A is 10 and B is 11, okay. Then A is 10, B is 11, okay. Third one, okay. Demo 1, A is 10, B is 11 for the first one, okay. A 10, B 11 for the third one, A is 10, B is 11 for the fourth one, 11, 11, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10, 10, okay. A 11, B 11 for the second one, 10 and 10. Satish, for which program? Program number also, if you tell, it will be better, because for what you are telling the output, we will understand. Demo 4, we get A11 and B10, okay. So for the first one, okay. Demo 3 is 10 and 11. Okay, good. All of you are trying it. So participation is more important. As you are noticing, there are different answers that we are getting. Some of you are telling here 11, 11, here 11, 11. Some of you are telling 10, 11. Some of you are telling 11, 10. So whatever confusion you have in getting the output. So Pratap tells 11, 11, 11, 11, 10, 11, and 10, 10. Okay. Let us see what output we are going to get. Now, why we have that confusion, whenever we perform pre-incrementation and post-incrementation is, there is something that we have to focus on whenever we are performing pre and post. Now, let us consider the first example. In the first example, whatever I have done, I'm going to write it here. Execution will begin from the main method. I'm creating one variable called A. So there is a variable A that is created. For that A, the memory 10, the data 10 is given. After that, I'm creating one more variable called B. We are only creating it. We are not giving any value. Let's assume that memory is created for B. After that, I'm telling ++A. ++A means Is it pre-incrementation or post-incrementation? What is this, sir? Plus plus A means it is pre-incrementation. Correct. So plus plus A means it is pre. Whether it is pre-incrementation or post-incrementation, are you trying to increment the value of A? Yes, because we are incrementing the value of A value becomes 11. Now, okay, sir. After that, equal to operator we have. Remember, equal to operator is right to left associative. Whatever is there in the right side of the equal to operator, that gets executed first, then the left side of the expression will get executed. Which means whatever I have in A, that value is given to B. That's the meaning. So I have 11 in A, that 11 is given to B. So my B will have 11 now. Then I am telling system.out.println A, system.out.println B. I will be getting the output as 11. So here I'll write output will be A is equal to 11, B is equal to 11. This most of you were able to tell correctly. Okay, sir. What about the second one, sir? Second one also, I'll enter, I'm telling A equal to 10. So I will tell A, which is holding the value 10. Then I am telling integer type B. I am only declaring it. I am not giving any value. So for B, memory is allocated. Then I am telling A++. If this is pre-incrementation, this has to be post-incrementation. Pre-incrementation or post-incrementation, that is secondary for me. Am I incrementing? Yes. Because you are incrementing, it becomes 11. Sir, pre-incrementation also gave you 11. Post-incrementation also is giving you 11. Yes. Then what is the difference between the two, sir? What is the difference? I will tell. Whatever 11 you have got, you are giving it to B. B will get the value 11. Then when I try to print the value, I'm going to get A value as 11. I'm going to get the B value also as 11. But we are not convinced, sir. Then what is the difference between pre-incrementation and post-incrementation? Please understand one thing. As long as you are doing only incrementation in that particular line, means if you look at this line carefully, apart from incrementation, I am not doing any other activity. It is only the incrementation that I am doing here also. I am only doing the incrementation. As long as you are doing only incrementation in that line, there is absolutely no difference between pre-incrementation and post-incrementation output. Both will give you the same output. Then where do we have the difference? This is where you will start noticing the difference. Here, as normal, I'll begin the execution. Integer type A equal to 10. A will be given the value 10. After that, you are creating the variable B. But in the right hand side, you have equal to operator and you have incrementation. Now there are two things that you are performing. One is the assignment activity that you are performing. Another one is incrementation that you are performing. So when there are two activities that are there, which one should be performed first? Should your computer or should your program perform assignment first, or should it perform the incrementation first? This is where whether you are pre-incrementing or post-incrementing comes into picture. Here, I'm actually pre-incrementing the value. Here, I'm post-incrementing it in the fourth example. All of you might have heard about a prepaid SIM card and postpaid SIM card. What is the meaning of prepaid SIM card? Prepaid SIM card means first only you will pay the money, you will recharge. Then you will use it. So whatever you have to do, first only you will do it, later you will use that SIM card. But in case of postpaid SIM card, you will use it first. Later you will pay the bill. In the same way, Pre-incrementation means first only I should increment the value. Later I will use it. In case of post-incrementation, first I will use the value, later I will increment it. What I'm trying to tell is, here there are two activities that we are performing. One is assignment, the other one is incrementation. Is this pre-incrementation? Yes. Pre-incrementation means first only you should increment. I will increment the value of A, it becomes 11. Once you increment it, whatever is the incremented value, that should be given to B. So when I give incremented value to B, I'm going to get it as 11. Because what you had in A was 11 only. What about here, sir? Here, I will first declare the variable A, which will have the data 10. Then I'm going to declare another variable B. Now in the right hand side, you have assignment operator, you have increment operator. Now, is it pre-incrementation or post-incrementation? It is post. Means later you should increment. Later you will increment, but first what will you do then? Whatever is the value available in A, that value should be given to B. So whatever I have in A, I'll give it to B. After giving the B, I will increment. Post increment, later increment. So use the value first, later increment the value. When I tell that A becomes 11, so when I try to print the output, I should get A value as 11, B value as 10. And here A value should be 11, B value also should be 11. This is what is the output that I am expecting. Let us check whether it works or not. Let me go back to my Eclipse and check it. So this is how it might look like initially. Whatever is the welcome window, I'll close this. And then all these tabs, whatever we have, we don't require. I'm going to close everything. Yes. Now, forget about this, create a Maven project, dynamic web project and all that. I will go to the file. Under file, I'm going to create one Java project, but I don't have that Java project option here. So I will go to other. In there, you can see Java project. Tell it as next. It will ask you to give the name for the project. I'm going to give the name of the project as Unit 1. Instead of giving the concept name, let us give the name as unit wise. And then I will tell finish. It will ask you to create a module. Module is for a different purpose, not required for us. So you tell no. After you tell this, it was in a different perspective. That's okay. After you tell this, you can notice there is a project by name Unit 1 that has been created. Now, inside this Unit 1, inside this project, whatever output or whatever programs you want to write, you can write it. Let me close all the tabs so that we will have a bigger screen. Fine. Here, I'm going to right click and I will tell new class. What is the name of the class? I will tell demo1, and my demo1 class require main method. I will tell finish. So this is how I would be creating the class. It will create. Yes, I will increase the font size. Control plus if I tell, font size will get incremented. It will get increased. Okay, in this, the first program, whatever I have told, integer type A equal to 10, integer type B, then I will tell plus plus A, B equal to A, system.out.println, The advantage of using your IDE Eclipse is you need not have to type system.out.println right from the beginning. If you just tell sys out control space, then it will only give you the complete signature. There are so many shortcuts. When you want to import something, you can use a shortcut. When you want to, have system.out.println, there is a shortcut. If you are using a method which you have not created, there is a shortcut. So all that can be used. Eclipse, I don't think it is there in the LMS. It is very simple. Just you can go to Eclipse website. If you tell eclipse.com, it will take you there. Download the latest version. Installation, just keep telling next. No change have to be made. Just keep telling next. It will give you the Eclipse editor. Try it. In case you find any difficulty, let me know in the next class. I'll help you out. Okay. So here I will tell system.out.println A, system.out.println B. Both the values I will try to print. Then when I run the program, for running the program, just this run button, if you tell, sufficient. In your notepad, you had to go to command prompt, compile, give it to the JVM. All that headache is not there in your Eclipse. So A and B, I was expecting 11 and 11. I'm getting that output. In my second example, I had told A++. For that also, we should get 11 and 11 as the output. If I run it, you're noticing we are getting 11 and 11. After that, in the third program, I will remove all this. Here I will tell int b equal to, first we have told plus plus a. And in plus plus a, we are going to get 11 and 11. Am I correct? B equal to plus plus a. I'm going to get 11 and 11. Let me run the code. As expected, we are getting 11 and 11. Now, instead of telling plus plus a, I will tell a++, and when I run the program, 11 and 10 is what I should be getting. Accordingly, I'm getting it. So pre-incrementation and post-incrementation, I hope it is completely clear. Okay, so there are some questions. It will work for Windows 7. Yes, it will work. I'm unable to use Eclipse. It should be working. Just uninstall whatever you have and do it right from the beginning. Don't select anything. Just keep telling yes. For everything, you just keep telling yes. That's it. Workspace is set up. Workspace setup is nothing but creating Java project and class. No, workspace is like, you will create a folder where in that folder you will store all the projects. Now, if you remember in our last class, whatever programs I wrote in Notepad, I kept every file inside one folder called Java program, Java PRG. So whatever folder I created there, that only here we call it as a workspace. That's it. Then there is an error. Which one? I think we did not tell A++. That's why we got an error probably. Eclipse will work for Ubuntu also. Visuals, see, using the editor is your choice. Whichever you are comfortable, you can use it. It is not like, we have to do it only in Eclipse. Whatever editor you feel like using, you can use it. Absolutely no problem. Sir, can you please explain once again, which you explained in Notepad? You mean again the Notepad program? Is that what you're asking, Neha? Notepad, we don't use it because I just wanted to show you the class file. I told you that, directly high level code, if I give it to Java compiler converts it into intermediate level. Then that intermediate level is converted to machine level. Just to show you the class file, I have used Notepad, how to give the commands. Otherwise, Notepad, you also don't use it. Okay. Okay, maybe this one program I will tell how you can do it in Notepad. I will copy this. I will go to my folder, which we have created in our last class. I think it was in D drive that we created. It was Java PRG. Let me share the screen. So in Java PRG, there I will create, there is some correction.txt not required. I'm going to create a new document here. I'll tell, or demo one I already have, is it? Okay, it is demo.java. Let me open Notepad here. Let's share it. Okay, there are two notepads. Fine. I hope Notepad is visible, and I will save the copy paste whatever program I have written. Yes, all the recordings will be available in the LMS. You can check it whenever you are free. Naming the file, you can give any name, but the convention is whatever we have in the main method, that name we will give. So I'll tell demo1.java. And after you have done this, you can go to your command prompt. Command prompt, if I share, this is the command prompt. I'm in a different path. I want to first go to D drive. So I'll tell D:, then change directory to, what is the folder name? Java PRG. Change directory to Java PRG, I will tell. So now I am in the path where my program is present. Now I should give it to my compiler. So I will tell Java C demo1.java. When I tell this, my high level code is given to the compiler. Compiler converts it into intermediate level code. In the meantime, if there are any issues with respect to the syntax, it will give me the error. But in this program, everything is fine. Then I will tell whatever demo1 class file is there, I'm going to give it to my JVM. So in order to give class file to the JVM, this is the command we use. .java.class extension is not required. That is automatically added by the Java itself. So if I just hit the enter key, whatever output I got in my Eclipse, the same output is what I should be getting here also. But we don't use Eclipse Notepad because it is not user friendly. So any of the IDEs that you are comfortable, you can use it, no problem, but not Notepad, Edit Plus and all that. Because when you go to the projects, on a later stage, web application and all that, it will start creating problems. It's not that user friendly. Okay. Sorry, explain how Java C is working internally. See, the problem is, in case we have sufficient time, we can go in depth, but I hope all of you know that in 1.1 class, 1.1 unit has to be completed. There is a shortage of time. Whatever is there in the syllabus, let's try to complete it first. Later, if time permits, internally how it works and all that, we will try to understand. Okay, because otherwise, if we lag behind, then if the syllabus is not completed, it will, impact on your examinations, the final examination. So let's try to understand the more important things. Once we complete everything, if sufficient time is still there, then we will go to the other details as well. Okay. Now, I want to write one more program, and I want you to answer to this. Integer type a equal to 10, system.out.println a. Can you tell me what output you will get? What kind of question you are asking, sir? You are underestimating us. Integer type a equal to 10, you are printing a and you are asking what output we will get. What else will we get? We will be getting 10. Correct. Whatever you are telling is correct. If I run the code, 100%, it is 10 that I'm going to get. Now, instead of telling 10, I will tell like this. What will I get? Again, you are underestimating us, sir. 10 and 0, 1, 0. How does it matter? Whether it is 10 or 0, 1, 0, 100% it is considered as 10 only. Error we will not get, because if there is any error, compiler would have told it here only. In case you are thinking of runtime error, okay, then maybe when we run the program, we will get that output, error as an output. Let us check what we will get. So most of you are telling that if you tell int a equal to 0, 1, 0, then 10 is what we are going to get. But surprisingly, that is not the output you would be getting. What you are going to get is 8. Why, sir? How is it printing that 8? Because we know in mathematics, whatever number of zeros you add in the beginning of a number, it doesn't carry any value. So if I remove that 0 and if I tell 10, I will get 10 as an output. But the moment you include 0 in the beginning, you are going to get 8 as an output. So what has changed internally, that 0 is making your output to get changed from the previous one. Please remember, in case of mathematics, we have 4 types of numbers. You might have learned it in your electronics, or somewhere in mathematics you might have learned. There are 4 types of numbers that we have. One is the binary number. We have one type of number system called binary number system. Then we have another number system called octal number system. Then we have something called as decimal number system. And we also have something called as hexadecimal number system. There are 4 types of number systems that we have. By default, any integer type number, simply if you tell, for example, I will tell 100, or I will tell 200, or I will tell 150, or I will tell 124. Any number you tell, by default, these numbers are treated as decimal numbers. So if you store 100 and if you try to print, you will get 100. If you store 200 and try to print 200, you will get. So any number that you tell by default, they are treated as decimal numbers. However, if I tell integer type a equal to 10, since I am not telling anything, this number will be treated as decimal number. When I try to print it as an output, I should be getting the output as 10. There is no problem. But I want to tell my program, I want to tell my compiler, whatever number I am telling here, it is not a decimal number. Maybe you are interested in telling one binary number, 1, 0, because in binary number system, you have 0, you have 1. Your numbers will be formed using zeros and ones. So you want to tell your compiler that compiler, whatever number I am telling here, it is not decimal number, rather it is binary number. How do we tell to the compiler, sir? This is how you have to tell. Integer type a equal to 0, b, 1, 0. Then I will tell system.out.println a. The moment you attach the prefix 0b, then immediately your compiler will understand whatever is the number that you are telling here, it is a binary number. When you try to print that value, printing will always happen in decimal only. Even though this is a binary number, when you print that a, the equivalent decimal number gets printed. For example, 1, 0. What is the binary value? What is the equivalent decimal number? You should multiply this with 2 power 0. This you should multiply with 2 power 1. Both should be added. So 2 power 0, it is 1 multiplied with 0, you will get 0. 2 to the power 1, 2 multiplied with 2, it is 2. I'll get 2. So 1, 0 in the binary form, it is equal to 2 in the decimal form. If I try to print this value, I will get 2 as an output. That is what you will get here. If I tell, instead of telling 0, 1, 0, if I tell 0B, 1, 0, if I run the program, I'm going to get the output as 2. Sir, but I want it in the binary form only, sir. It should print me the output in binary. Then you have to write one program for converting. By default, your system.out.println has an instruction to print the output in decimal form. It will not print the output in any other form. You will have to modify in case you want. Okay, sir. But what about that 0, 1, 0, sir? What exactly did it print when we told 0, 1, 0? Whenever you want to tell, whatever I'm telling here, it is not decimal number, rather it is an octal number. Then you are going to tell it like this. Integer type A equal to 0, 1, 0. Then if you tell system.out.println A, the moment your compiler sees that 0 as the prefix, then whatever number you are telling here, it will be treated as octal number. And in octal number system, how many digits you have? You have 8 digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 0, 1, 0 in the octal number system. What is the equivalent value in the decimal form? Binary means you will multiply with 2 power 0. Octal means you multiply with 8 power 0 and 8 power 1. So I will get 0 here. I will get 8 here. When I add both of them, I'm going to get 8. That is why it gave me the output as 8 when I print it. In the same way, if you want to represent your number as hexadecimal number, I will tell 0x10. Then I will tell system.out.println A. Then your output, what is it going to print? I will tell 1, 0. It has to be 16 power 0, 16 power 1, and this is equal to 16. You know, 10 in hexadecimal, it is equal to 16 in the decimal form. So if I tell that, it is exactly the same output I should be getting. 0, 1, 0, we have already seen. We are going to get 8. Instead of 0, 1, 0, if I tell 0x10, I am going to get the output as 16. So when you want to tell different numbers, binary 0B you should tell, octal 0 you should tell, hexadecimal 0x you should tell. That is how you are going to tell your compiler that different number systems are used. Okay, that is one thing. And after that, we also want to sir, in indices 0, a power 0 is 1. How is it coming 0 here? No, we are multiplying it with the number. See here, 8 power 0, it is 1. Whatever number you get, you should multiply with the first digit. This number you should multiply with first digit, the second digit. If you have like this, 232, you want to convert it into octal. 8 power 0, 8 power 1, 8 power 2. So 8 power 0, whatever you get, multiply with 2. That is what I'm doing here also. So when I multiply and finally whatever I get, I add, I'll be getting the output. So it is 8 power 0, 1, 1 into 2 plus 8 power 1, 8, 8 into 3, 24 plus 8 into 8, 64 into 2, 128. That is what we are doing. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, whenever you take up the loops, we have one unit where we have to discuss about array data structure and also the strings concept. So when we go to arrays and strings, we will discuss about the for loop and all that. And I have seen among the students that if at all there is any confusion, it is in the switch case that most of the students will get confused. There is no clarity as to how to make use of the switch case. So how do we use switch case in Java programming? Now assume that you want to give a menu card to the user. If you go to the hotel person will come and give you a menu card where all the food items will be there. Whichever food item you want to order, you will select that item and you will tell him that I want order number 1, or I want item number 1, I want item number 2. Whatever you select, corresponding to that, he will get you the food and he will serve you. Like that, when there are multiple options, and you want to ask the user, which option would you like to use? Say, for example, I want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. I want to ask the user, tell me whether you want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Then I can actually manage it by using the switch case. How do we write it using the switch case? Here I will tell system.out.println. There I will tell, please select your option. And before printing that message, maybe I will tell system.out.println. I will tell select 1 for addition. The same thing is what I will tell in the next 3 lines. But here I will change the option. You have to press 2 if your intention is to perform subtraction. Then I will tell you have to press 3 if your intention is to perform multiplication. Then you should tell you will have to press 3 for division. Like that I will tell you, you will have to press 4 for division. So I'm giving the option for the user, whether you want to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. What is it that you want to perform? Please select your option. Now, when you tell the user to select the option, user is going to select it. User is going to press one option from the keyboard. Whenever you want to read something from the keyboard, in your C programming, if you recollect, you were using something called as scanf. But in Java, we have something called as scanner. There is one unit called file handling. I think the 10th unit or 11th unit. When we go to file handling, what exactly happens when you tell scanner? We will discuss more about it. But for now, whenever I want to collect input from the user, or whenever I should give an option to the user to enter the input from keyboard, I will tell scanner type scan equal to new scanner of system.in. And scanner is actually present in a different package. I will have to import it. Different package. From there, I will get that scanner to my class. Then I will tell me what type of input the user will enter. Looking at this message, please select your option. User will either select 1, he will either press 1, or he will press 2, or 3, or 4. Whatever he is pressing is a number. If you want to scan the number, you should tell scan.nextInt. If he is entering float type data, scan.nextFloat. If he is entering string type data, scan.next. So depending upon the data that user enters from the keyboard, you will have to select the method, and I will tell integer type choice. I'm going to store it in this. Please select your option. Instead of that, please select your choice, or please enter your choice. Like that, I will tell. Now, what I have to do is, whatever user has entered, if he has chosen 1, he wants to perform addition. If he has chosen 2, he wants to perform subtraction. If he has chosen 3, multiplication, 4, division. So that is what I want to do. Now he wants to perform addition, let us assume. If he wants to perform addition, don't you think you should collect two numbers from the user? For that, I will tell system.out.println. I will tell, please enter first number. Whatever is the first number, I will store it in A. Again, the first number, let us assume that it is an integer type input that user will enter. Then I will tell system.out.println, please enter second number. Whatever is the second number, I am going to store it in B. B equal to scan.next int. There is a problem here. It is not scan int. It is scan.next int. That's what I will tell. Now this scanner, we can tell here also, no problem, but let me put it before this. Okay, this is how I have written the program. Now user has told you what operation he wants to perform. He has told you the first number. He has told you the second number. Now using all the information user has provided, you will have to perform one of the four operations. For that, I'm going to make use of switch case. How, sir? This is what I will tell. Switch means switch to one of the cases. Okay, I'm ready to switch. But based on what should I switch? Switch on the basis of the choice entered by the user. Whatever choice the user has entered, depending upon that, switch to one of the cases here. If the choice is 1, go to case 1. If the choice is 2, go to case 2. If the choice is 3, go to case 3. Like that, depending upon what value the user has entered, switch to one of the cases. Inside that, I will tell in case you are giving 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. If in case the user has selected choice 1, user has selected the first option, then what should I do? I will tell here integer type answer. Then here I will tell into that answer A plus B. Add the value and give the value to answer. In the next line, system.out.println, whatever is there in answer, you would like to print it. So if user has entered the choice as 1, I will go to the case 1. I will perform addition and I will store the value in answer and I will print the answer. Okay, sir. After that, I will tell if in case it is not 1 the user has selected, rather it is the option 2 that user has selected. User has selected 1, I will perform this activity. If user has selected 2 as an option, then what should I do? I should subtract A and B. And whatever is the result you are getting, put it into answer. After that, print that answer. System.out.println, whatever is there in answer, I will print it. Similarly, in case he has selected 3 as an option, then answer should be equal to A multiplied by B. Then we will tell system.out.println answer. Similarly, the next case, case 4, answer equal to A divided by B, system.out.println, I am going to print the answer. If user has entered 1, I will execute this. User has entered 2, this one, 3, this one, 4, this one. However, we always have the habit of entering something that is not mentioned. You go to the hotel, they will tell you idli is what we have, puri is what we have, then dosa is what we have. We always have the habit of asking something that is not there in the menu card. Here also, we have clearly told enter 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, 4 for division. Some kind of happiness we will get when we enter something apart from those 4. So to handle those mischievous users, what we will have to do here is we will tell default. Apart from 1 to 4, any other option the user enters, then you print a message. System.out.println, sorry, invalid input or invalid choice. Like that I will tell. So here what happens? Now let us assume that user has selected 1 as the option, 1 as the choice. So in the choice, what is the data that I have? I have the data 1. Let us assume. Then you're asking enter the first number. User has entered the first number as 10. Enter the second number. User has entered 20. Then I will create one variable answer. Then I will go to switch. What is it that I have in the choice? I have 1 inside my choice. So I will go to the first case. Whatever I have told here, it will be compared with the data present inside choice. If both of them match, then whatever you have told in the first case, that will be executed. Let us assume user has entered 2 as an option. Then I will come to the switch case. In choice, I have 2. I will compare 1. Here it is 2. Both are not matching. In that case, whatever you have told here, that will be skipped. It will not be executed. It will go to the second case. It will check whatever I have here. Is it the same thing that I have in the choice? Yes, because it is matching. Whatever is there in the case 2, that will get executed. Will it stop after that, sir? No. After comparing 2 and choice, after executing this line, it will go to the third case. It will compare 3 and choice. They are not matching. It will go to the fourth case, compare 4 and choice, not matching. You might have a doubt, sir, when already the execution is completed, why should it go to the third case, fourth case and compare, sir? Correct, it should not compare, but your compiler doesn't know. Why, sir? Because you have not instructed. How do I tell the compiler that one case, if it is executed, come out of the switch case? If you have to tell that after your work is done, tell it as break. Means once it executes everything, it will break out of it. So here I will tell break, and in the third case, after printing the answer, I will tell break. Here also I am going to tell break, because you have told everywhere, even in the default, you can just tell it as break. This is how you can write it. Now, if I try to run the program, will I get the output as expected? So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, please enter your choice. I will tell 3. Hit the enter key, enter the first number. I will tell 12. Please enter the second number. I will tell 2. Now it will go to the third case and it will give me the output as 24. If you want any other option, you can select it, no problem. I'll tell 1, first number 100, second number 200. Addition will happen and it will give you the output. So this is how the switch case will be used. You have advanced Java programming, the practical classes every Saturday, I think at 4 to 5:30, whatever advanced Java programming you have. There you will be writing some programs. One tic-tac-toe game you would be designing. You would be designing one billing system. There you are going to learn more about the switch case, how to use it practically, how to implement it in the program. All that you will discuss more about it in the advanced Java programming session. So I have just given you an idea. This is how we are going to use the switch case. Though for loop, if condition, if else, the while loop, the do while loop, all that, even though it is a part of unit 1, let us take it up when we go to array data structure, because there it makes more sense to discuss than in the first unit. Okay, so I hope whatever I have told is completely clear. Then very last thing what we have is the properties or features of Java. That features of Java, hardly it would take 5 to 10 minutes. Maybe in the next class, in the initial few minutes, I'll explain that. And then we will move to the second unit where you are going to understand how to make use of the classes and how to create an object from the class. All that we are going to discuss it. Okay, so when to use the switch case, when to use if else ladder. Okay, I'll give you the answer. We will do one thing. We will take up array data structure once, because in that we will learn more about the loops, the if else statements and all that. Once we take that, we will revisit this concept and we will try to understand, because I have to speak when to use for loop, when to use while loop, do while loop, when to use the switch case, when to use the if else condition. So I will once again revisit the concept. That time I will give you more clarity about it. Okay. So we share the Java file in the LMS. Java file in the sense the programs, is that what you're asking? Okay, so whatever I have in the workspace, I'll share it with the concerned person, to the program manager, and they would take care of it. They would upload it into the LMS. So in that case, we will do one thing from the next class. Every program that we write, we will try to create a new file. We'll try to create a new class, and then we will try to upload it. That I will do. Okay. So practical questions, yes, everything will be there. So since we are still in the beginning of the session, very early stage of the session, maybe today and last class we didn't have anything, but from next week onwards, then it will be there. Practical questions will be there, how to implement those practical scenarios, all that will be there. A few of it you will learn it here, and a few of it you will learn it in the advanced Java programming. Okay, so I hope the class was clear, whatever we have discussed today. In case you have any doubt, then you can get it, and we will try to take it up in the next class as well. Okay, let's meet again in the next week. Take care, all of you. We'll meet again in the next week, and we'll try to take up the remaining part, the features of Java, and also the second unit. Okay, take care. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye. Thank you all. Thank you.